Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for those who don't know, I'm Alicia and I've been interviewing inspirational people to find out how they've become the person they are today. Now, in this week's interview, I wanted to find out exactly what it's like to be in the Love Island villa. So I contacted George Day from 2020 Winter Love Island to find out about his experiences and what life has been like since leaving. Here's how it went. Welcome to the channel. If you could just begin with introducing yourself, who are you, what do you do?
So George Day, I appeared on Love Island season 6 and I come in at Casa, Amor.
Fantastic. So how did you get picked to go on Love Island?
So originally I was casted for season 4.
Okay.
So that was, I believe, the series that Jack and Danny won. So I was in touch with the producers. So originally it was just an Instagram message from the casting team. So I had an initial sort of conversation, like a telephone conversation with the casting team, and then I actually travelled up to London to meet the executives. And again, it was like an interview process. You get filmed, they ask you numerous questions, obviously about your love life, relationships, and obviously who you are. And so there's a couple of stages, and then you do like your medical and stuff like that. And they said obviously there's a position potentially at Casa Amor, which obviously was still quite new to the show. I think it was only in series 3, I believe, they introduced it. So back then it was only 2 days, so I didn't really want to put everything. I'd rather wait to maybe go on the next series and then maybe go in as a bombshell or, as an original cast. So it didn't happen. Then shortly after I got into a relationship, and then the casting team sort of reached out for season 6 just after the series 5 finished around sort of September time. And it's pretty much fast tracked. I went straight up to London, met the execs. They were happy. And then again, I just did my medical. Because it was South Africa, that we had to do our visas, we had to get our injections. And then I think it was around sort of the end of October, I got the phone call from the execs just to say, look, that you've been casted for the show. We want you to be a bombshell. So it was just a case of, keeping it obviously quiet for the next couple of months. And yeah, pretty much just waiting for a call for the producers to go in. Obviously, instead of going in as a bombshell, I went in Casa Amor. So it was mixed emotions, because obviously you're buzzing to get the opportunity. And obviously I know so many people apply and it's such an unbelievable experience. But I think at the same time, I think Casa Amor is just so tough. But it was still an unbelievable experience. I wouldn't regret anything.
In terms of the application process, you said about they contacted you on Instagram. Did you have to apply first online, or did they literally just contact you?
So I know originally, so when I was contacted, yes, there was a form that I had to fill out. Obviously, just about a bit about yourself, a bit about your background, obviously your dating, etc., and any sort of funny stories, and just anything that really sort of stands out. Because so it's initial sort of like an online application. So they send you a link, you fill that out, and then sometimes you're asked to do like a 30-second to a minute video.
Okay.
Which is quite fun. So you pretty much got to introduce yourself, full of energy, full of confidence, and just try and get that personality and energy across in a 1-minute clip, which is quite difficult. So, but no, that was one of the best things I enjoyed, actually. So I sent that over to the casting team, and then pretty much you wait a couple of days, and then you get a phone call, and then you pretty much will travel up to London.
Why do you think they chose you? Obviously, there's thousands. What made you stand out?
I suppose maybe initially, on Instagram. I remember around the sort of time, a couple of years ago, I was quite active on Instagram. Obviously, I was a bit of a poser and stuff like that. So I was very much on social media. I was active. I was posting all the time. I was stories. I was sort of traveling from Dubai and places like that. So you can get some good shots for Instagram. So I'd probably say that was probably, they initially just thought, right, he's active on social media. They liked the look initially, maybe. And I think when they meet you, you've got to be yourself. And, at the end of the day, you can't go in there and fake it. You've just got to be yourself and be confident. And so many people apply for the show, so you just got to hope that there's, that small percentage that obviously they pick you. So but no, I mean, ITV are fantastic from start to finish. They're very good with each step of the way, so from that point of view it makes it so much easier. So I mean, it can be quite a daunting thing to go into a room and get filmed if you haven't been in front of the camera before. So yeah, no, it was just I couldn't really answer that question, to be honest. I'd have to leave it to ITV, but I'd probably just say probably my personality. I was a bit cheeky, had a few little one-liners as well, so they probably just thought I could go in and just try and do it with some of the one-liners, but obviously it didn't quite work out like that.
How did you feel going into Casa Amor? Obviously, we all know what happens in Casa Amor. The girls go off.
Yeah.
But like with boy code as such, you could be stealing someone's girl. How did you feel going in?
Do you know what? You've got to go in there and make an impact, to be honest. I do stand by boy code 100%, and obviously I love Naz. So to try and then potentially go in to try and steal Naz's girl was obviously, for me, was obviously difficult. But at the same time, I wanted to go in there, be true to myself, and obviously Demi was the one that caught my eye. So I knew that relationship was quite fresh. So I obviously didn't feel as bad, but you're not going to go in there and not chat to people and stuff like that. I did apologise to Naz obviously after, but again he come in with Eva, so it worked out okay for him, I suppose. But yeah.
In terms of being actually in the villa, now I always wonder, when the famous quote, "I've got a text." Do you know that text is coming?
Obviously, yeah. I mean, the producers will give you a heads up. Mainly I've got the tech stuff, especially in Casa Amor, it was more the challenges. Mm-hmm. So again, one of the challenges we're all sat round, and then there's, we get the text comes through, and it would be different circumstances, and obviously a boy and girl will have to do sort of anything, sort of depending on the text. So of course that bit, you're literally all sat around. The producers will give someone the phone, and you are sort of just waiting for the text. And the difficult with that task is that the other villa, they had to time the text. Because obviously we were going against the other villa in like a time challenge. So the producers, yeah, they do give us a heads up when the text is going to come through, especially if it's like a challenge. Or I can imagine it would have been the same for the other things, say like a date or stuff like that, which does happen on the show. But yeah, from my experience, it was just, the producers will give you a heads up, because it was part of the challenge. And
is there anything watching back that you think, do you know what, when you were in there, it was so different to what actually you see on telly?
No, not really. I think everything that happens on the show is, obviously it's a TV show. Some things are set up, like the challenges, for example. But no, to be honest, if anything, it's frustrating because you didn't get to see more, because there was so much that happened that they didn't show. But given the circumstances of there being another villa, 12 other people, it's so hard to get 24 hours a day into 1 hour, because there's just so much happening, so many storylines. So there was so much that happened that they didn't show, but for obvious reasons. So
would you say you were at a disadvantage going in to Casa Amor and not necessarily joining from the beginning, or like you say, as that bombshell?
Yeah, I think it is difficult, because obviously if you go in as an original cast member, I think you do get more time to settle in. You will get other opportunities if you don't couple up in the first couple of weeks, that new people will come in, and then people could come in for you. For me, I do think Casa Amor, I literally had one option. If I was going to stay true to myself, because I spoke to all the girls, but I only really had the Demi situation. So I do think you are at an advantage going into Casa Amor. But then again, you are, again, from like an individual point of view, you've got 5 other lads to compete with. So it's difficult. And then you've got 6 other girls. So by going in for like a bombshell, for example, then you're one of maybe 2 people that will go in. So you will have the limelight. You will get a bit more airtime, and there's a bit more of a focus on you, which obviously helps for the social media growth as well. So
would you say that your life has changed in any way since coming out of the villa?
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, no, it has, and it's all been positive. I think when we first come out, everything was quite new in terms of being like recognised and asking for photos and stuff like that. And you do get used to it. I mean, we're not like we're A-list celebrities, but you still get stopped, especially when nights out. it's crazy, to be honest. But no, it's unbelievable. It's so nice just to, hear people, I mean, especially when you come home and you go out and you speak to people, everything's just so positive. So yeah, definitely no regrets. But I think it's just some of the events you go to, the people you meet, and it's such a surreal, unique experience. So, so many people just ask, again, so many people just ask you about the experience and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, it's been really positive.
How did you cope initially coming out and, all of a sudden people know your face, they know who you are?
Unfortunately, Southampton is a city where everyone knows everyone. So everyone was just so pleased. Everyone was buzzing, just coming up to me, buying drinks and obviously asking questions. Obviously, the photos thing was totally new to me. But again, it's something you just, when you're out and about, it's, I still, even yesterday, we just popped to the shop, just to Tesco's, and, someone recognised you and you get a quick photo, and it's nice just to make someone's day and just make a bit of an effort. And it's all positive. So yeah, it's something you do get used to. But yeah, it is nice. I do like it. I don't mind the attention, to be honest.
A lot of people don't really like Love Island for the fact it's got that kind of negativity attached to it, that people who come out end up suffering with anxiety and depression. What's your...
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, for obviously it's a serious topic. And obviously I know there have been people on the show that obviously have suffered, and I know ITV have gone, to lengths now to obviously just make sure that the welfare is there, that the therapy there, and that the help is there. So yeah, obviously, it is difficult. You are pretty much put into the public light instantly, I suppose. It's difficult for me to comment because I've never really been like, I wasn't in there for a long period of time to have like a massive impact, and I've not had any negative press and stuff like that. So it really is difficult to comment. But what I can say is that ITV have gone to lengths to make sure that support has been there post-villa.
Okay.
I regularly speak to welfare, who they will make contact with you each week. They set up therapy sessions. I think there's 8 therapy sessions which you have to attend after leaving the show. So from my experience in terms of how you've been looked after sort of post-villa, I can only say from my experience, ITV have been fantastic and very supportive. Who you can speak to, you've got therapy as well, which they put on. I think you can have it for up to 2 years sort of post-villa as well. So I mean, even prior to the show, you speak with welfare, so you have numerous conversations. If you're concerned about anything being leaked to the press, they're very good in terms of their press team that looking after you as well. So anything negative that comes out, they're pretty much, there to help and assist.
Which is lovely to hear, and it's nice to hear that ITV are supportive.
Yeah.
Those who are on the show.
No, it's good. Like I say, there's so many people backstage who work on the show, like the producers or the runners. There's so many people that come into the villa. Obviously, you don't see it. Obviously, it's not on TV. So there's quite a few people that come that, they're always asking, how are you? Make sure you're eating, asking about your day and stuff like that. So even in the villa, if you're having like a down day or, someone's upset you, or what it's like with on the TV show, what happens sometimes, there's always someone to speak to, even on the show.
What would you say was the best experience about being in the villa?
I'd probably say the friendships, yeah, because it's such a surreal experience. It's very hard to almost put it into words sometimes. So just knowing that 5 other people have had that same unique experience, it almost gives you like a connection straight away. So, I mean, we all speak about the villa every day pretty much on WhatsApp, what we could have done wrong or what was different, or, what happens if we went at different times. So it's just a shame, the public didn't really get to see more of us because we've all got so much to give, and we were obviously all there for a reason. So it was just because of the timing, because of obviously it was a shorter show as well compared to like the summer version. It is a shame because we all had so much to give, but you didn't quite see it during that short period. But I mean, we've all done really well since leaving the villa, which is obviously just credit to everyone, really.
Right, prior going into the villa, you were in property sales?
Yeah, so I worked in sales, I was like a lettings manager, and then I did a bit of sports management as well, sort of self-employed. So it was just a crazy time to, especially building up to knowing that you're going in. Obviously, I wasn't doing that much work, to be honest, which is because you're so excited. All you're thinking about is obviously Love Island. I loved what I did. If I'm being honest, I was looking to do something else, and I'm 28 years old, so I was probably looking for a career change. I've always loved reality TV. Started with like The Only Way is Essex and stuff like that. So my goal is to go on a TV program like this.
So how did you get into property sales? Like, what made you go down that route to begin with?
I think when I was 16, I mean, obviously I did okay at school, but I never really knew what I wanted to do. The only thing I wanted to do is what every boy wants to do, is obviously play football and be a professional footballer. So that was the dream. I was playing at the time for a local club at a good level, and the dream was there, so to speak. But I never went to university. I didn't really go to college because I was on a scholarship whilst playing football. So I would train and then I would be going to college twice a week. So I sort of missed out on the sort of college experience in there and that education. So I didn't really get the opportunity to go to university. When I was 18, I was released. So the only opportunity I had at that time, not knowing what I wanted to do, was through a friend, and I got offered a job at an estate agent, and then from there I pretty much worked my way up from like a trainee negotiator all the way up to sort of a branch manager, which I loved, and I've worked in some good markets. But for me, it was just a case of I wanted something different, not knowing prior to sort of going in what I wanted. So
fantastic. And what would you say has been the biggest challenge you've faced?
Biggest challenge at work? I've never turned up on time, always late. So hopefully no future employers will listen to this. But,
So what would you say to anyone who's also turning up late to their job? How did you keep going? How did you stay successful?
Luckily, my figures kept me in the job, to be honest. I was always the top sale. I always won the competitions, always won the top sales or the most instructions, and the office was always performing well. So it probably got me out of trouble, to be honest. Also, I had a few tellings off, but yeah, I pretty much relied on my figures. I just made sure that when I was at work, I was obviously putting in the effort, but yeah, my timekeeping wasn't great, to be honest, especially in the mornings. I'm not a morning person, so it's a struggle getting up. Yeah, just make sure you put the effort in during the day and you get the results.
Finally, I just have 10 very quick questions. Ready?
Let's go. I'm ready.
Favourite football team?
Southampton.
Football or rugby?
Football all day.
Scrambled or poached eggs?
Poached eggs.
You're going to kill me for this one. Natalia or Demi?
Demi.
Marmite, love or hate?
Love. Massive fan.
Who ran your Instagram whilst you were in the villa?
My sister.
Essex or Southampton?
Essex all day. Sorry, Southampton.
Even though it's your hometown?
Even though it's my hometown, I know. I just love the people. I love the play. Everything about Essex is just... I'm more of an Essex boy than a Southampton boy, I think.
Okay.
I'm going Essex.
Favourite ice cream?
Magnum, like the Magnums?
Yeah. What?
White chocolate, dark chocolate, yeah, any of them.
Nando's or Pizza Hut?
Nando's. I'm not really a fan of Pizza Hut. I'm more of a Domino's man, but I'd definitely go for a Nando's, 100%.
I bet. Your best J Hus impression?
I can't even do it now, but no, J Hus, shout out to my boy. Ched, this one goes out for you. Oh, you put me on the spot here. That's not even it. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Now, I hope you all enjoyed that interview with George. What stood out for me was the fact that George applied to go on Love Island a few years before, and eventually he turned it down because it wasn't the right time in his life. And I think that's so important for us all to remember, that yes, take chances, but if you're not ready for something now, the time will come around and it will be your time, and the time will be right when it's right. Now, the other thing, what I do just want to mention, was about the mental health side of Love Island. I know it's seen to be quite a negative show, because these individuals go from having no fame at all to all of a sudden everyone knows them, millions of followers. but I think it's important that we all know that ITV do support these individuals. They do make sure they're okay, they do offer counselling, and I think that's so important for us all to hear. Now, you can follow George at the link here. If you have someone that inspires you, comment below. I'm always so interested to find out who others find inspirational. Likewise, if you have an inspirational story to tell, comment below, drop me a message on social media, or even drop me an email. On Wednesday at 5 o'clock, I'll be speaking with Francesco from First Dates Hotel about his experience on the show. If you've enjoyed this video, comment below, give it a thumbs up, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll speak to you all on Wednesday. See you later.